Boring Let's Play game. No, wrong. Political discussion. While I play GTA, trying to take a new spin on GTA Let's Plays. A little bit overrated. And come on, if you're a Let's Player, grow the fuck up and get a life and get a job for one. Yeah. Unless you're like Game Grumps or something like that, and that is your life. Not saying Game Grumps is bad, but back to the main topic. We're going to be playing GTA while we talk about what's wrong with the generation, what's wrong with millennials, what's wrong with politics, what's wrong with healthcare, what's wrong with, in general, everything. What's wrong with society? Trying to take a 23-year-old person that's seen a lot of shit in his life perspective on this. So, take it with a grain of salt. Take it for however much you want. Or completely get offended like everyone else would and bitch and complain. No safe space is going to save you from what I have to say. It's fucking truth in reality. Let's begin. Alright. So, I was sitting there about a few weeks ago on OkCupid, trying to get out there, trying to move on from my ex she broke up with me before I could propose to her. So I'm still kind of, it's been a year, and almost 7 months, close to it, and I haven't moved on. I just try to get out there on OkCupid. It's not the best thing that's worked out. But, I'm gonna steal this card. Well, trying to go ahead and, you know, talk to a girl isn't as easy as what it used to be. I sat there and tried to talk to someone who said they were something like Polygon. It was like Polygon. And then there was one that was a queen. And then there was one that was, I don't know, it was a really, really weird one that did not make sense. So I actually Googled, how many genders are there? It's a legitimate question, right? I mean, I only thought there were 3. Female, male, and trans. People that are either born with two different, you know, genders and stuff. I mean, yeah, the 2 genders combined. Or the people that they're in the middle of their operation and they're not completely done with their operation. I mean, those are the only genders I really thought. But if you actually Google, I mean, sit down, and I'm asking you right now, Google and sit there and look at how many genders are there. You'll be surprised to find out that the internet doesn't even really know. One website says 64 different genders. Another website says 32 different genders. One website that I've seen the most is about 103 genders. 103? 103? Really? Ways to describe of how you feel in a sexual relationship and what you are? One of them was completely defined based around your penis size. And I know, funny, that guy said penis. Really, probably grow up if you're gonna laugh because I said penis. A lot of your sexual organs and stuff might be brought up during this conversation. Considering my mom's been working in the medicine field since she was little, and I grew up around medicine. And I want to study to be a mortician when I get older. When I get old enough and go to college and study to be a mortician. But in general, I mean, really? You don't know what gender you are. You want to make up something that does not exist and post it on the internet and just to be like, oh, I'm a gender that, you know, perfect place to actually chill out and have this conversation. Other than I completely disrespected this graveyard by driving a car into it. My bad. But really, You sit here and you don't know what you are? I mean, really? It's kind of sad. It's kind of very, very sad that you don't know what you are. I know for a fact I'm male. I like women. And I identify myself as a male who likes women. But, yeah. But, I mean, that many genders, that many ways to explain what you are. No, I think that's some bullshit, millennials made up. More than likely, it's bullshit millennials made up. I mean, I'll guarantee you 100%, actually changing that more than likely, changing it to a 100% thing. I bet you millennials sat there and said, you know what? We need to find a better way to make sure that people know what we are. Because we don't feel special enough. Well, sorry you don't feel special enough. That's the way how the world works. You're special in your own unique way. You don't need to announce that you're special in a beat's getting louder. In like a broad way. Like if I were to walk up to someone and be like, "Oh, hey, miss," that grantedly, if I probably went on to OkCupid right now and went on to to their thing and went on a date with one of these women and probably actually did not recognize them by the same year that they want to be recognized as and call them what they are recognized as by the United States government and by medicine and by everything else, I'm pretty sure that, well, they would get very offended, and that date would just not be a date. It would just be me sitting there with probably them really offended and bitching at me. So, granted, again, what's wrong with today's society? What's wrong with people today? Millennials. That's where it all starts at. Millennials. You're soft, fucking, delicate little snowflakes that think, everything should be handed to you on the platter. Now, granted, I'm not saying I'm any different. I would like it if things came a lot easier to me. I would like it if I actually went ahead and, shit wasn't as hard as it should be. Life is hard, though. It's just a thing, when you sit there and you truly talk to someone that's older than you, someone that's more wiser than you, like, maybe go visit a nursing home. And don't just ask them, what was it like in your day? How was? More than likely, they're going to tell you it was very hard. It was very hard, and everything they did was extremely hard. Everything wasn't handed to them. They had to work from the sweat of their brow to the strength of their back. Things, we gotta work that hard too. We really, and I mean really, gotta work that hard. Things aren't just handed to you on a silver platter. Granted, it's nice that mommy and daddy probably buy you everything, and before you probably say this, and you're probably like, but before anyone chimes in on this, my parents do buy me stuff. This PS4 I bought with my own money. The TV I'm playing it on, I bought with my own money. The computer I had, it's out for repairs, and I'll probably do more of these YouTube streams on probably my computer that comes back from repairs. Bought with my own money. The 2 monitors that I bought for it, with my own money. The games I bought for my PS4, with my own money. Everything I have usually bought that I said I really want this, and I'm not going to ask my parents, I'll buy it with my own money. With that being said, what the fuck's wrong with people? I mean, there's only 3 different genders. Trans, male, and female. and how you feel about sex, there's only 3 different ways to feel about sex. You're either straight, bi, or you're gay, or lesbian, which is the same thing. Which can be like, that's not the same thing. No, no, no. Well, females like females, males like males. Now, granted, if you're a majority, and I mean, clapping my hands here, loud clap, slow, loud clap, condescendingly, as much as I fucking can. I'm pretty sure if I do this video again, I'm gonna have a webcam so that way you can see this very condescending clap. Wait, hold on, that let's need to be more condescending.
Oh yeah.
More condescending clap. You need to go ahead and if you're bi, like I said, condescending, and that's a majority of women. You go on to just about any dating website, a good majority of the women you see on there are bi. And you can sit there and be like, well, the fuck are they bi for? And if you're probably sitting there, you're a guy, you're going, oh sweet, you're bi, which means I can probably get talking into a 3-way. You're kind of right and you're kind of wrong. Relationship thing. Here's some advice. If you're honestly going to go for a 3-way, find a girl who's into pot. Seriously, has no life, is into pot, smokes pot 24/7, is really low self-esteem issues, and really feels shit about themselves, and work that to their advantage. Granted, that's shitty, what I just said, and granted, how bad that sounds, but that's life. That is life. You find that one person that is completely low self-esteem, does not feel good about themselves in everything, and they will stay with you forever. Your stock has reached... Oh, thank you, person. Thank you. But granted, that's how you get in a 3-way. And women, I'm openly saying this, not just for you men, women, I'm openly saying this, so that way when your man dates you and you are stoned, but you have some common sense, you go ahead and you tell, and he says, well, and one of your friend messages you, and it's a girl, and she said, well, I think you're kind of cute, and your guy's telling you, don't worry, it's fine, I just want to watch, and we're using air quotes here, air quotes, watch. That motherfucker's lying. He wants to join in. He's going to sit there and make it seem like he's lonely, and he wants to join in, and then you're going to talk your friend in, and your friend's going to be okay with it. That's what they're going to do. Grantedly, I know I just stabbed my own race. No, my own gender in the back, but that's what they do. That's in general what we do. I mean, that's how it's done. I mean, that's how it's properly done. Now, granted, I could say, yes, I did used to do that. I dated 2 to 3. It was 2. 2 different women that were stoners, and I talked them into a threesome. Granted, I do feel bad about that. Looking back on that, I was really young. I was really young in high school, and I thought, a threesome would be nice. Looking back on that, it destroyed their friendship. It destroyed my relationship. I thought it would be a one-time thing, and it destroyed our friendship, and it destroyed their friendship with their friend, which was very, very sad. As grade school friends that practically grew up next to one another became worst mortal enemies and hated each other. And then I lost a good relationship. I'm gonna chill out at the beach because it's more like this. Looking back at it, being or turning 21, when I turned 21 and living right next to a college, it was beautiful. Really, really not drunk. I mean, we're not. I don't know if I can say drugs on. I think pretty sure you can say. Yeah, Game Grumps says drugs on YouTube. A girl that just scored some cocaine from. I'm not going to tell you what state I am in, and if you are in that state and you do watch this, and where you can get cocaine, but a girl that just got cocaine, and they're hyped up on cocaine, and you're like, you know, you find me very attractive, and your friend over there is hyped up on cocaine, and her friend's over there, and she really wants to have sex with both of you. So, I mean, if you really want to count the times like anyone's really, but yeah, not getting into that. There's that. I mean, go out to a bar, you find a girl that's hopped up on drugs. And we're not talking meth, heroin, that shit that you don't need. Cocaine, they're hyped up on it. They're more than likely wanting to fuck. Which, if you're probably wondering, and you're probably like, this guy's making it up. No, tell them the truth. 3 women and me. And it's not as glamorous as it seems. Porn and everything else makes it out to be. Kind of tough. It's like kind of playing Tetris. You just gotta figure out what you do with those. It's easy to figure out what you do with 2 women. It's hard to figure out what you do with the 3rd one without leaving her completely out. But, yeah. But what's wrong with today's society? Back to that. Enough gloating. Because I would consider that gloating, and probably some of you are like, that motherfucker's gloating. Ah! I came here, I tuned in for all this long just to go ahead and watch him rip on fucking millennials.
Because I don't.
Hold on.
What did I say? What did I say? I want to communicate by email only. Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, fucking get out of here. Fucking just having a conversation. Y'all get out of here.
Shit, no!
Yeah, shoo. This is a closed off beach now. Beach is now closed off. There we go. Just changing my settings just in case if I get attacked. Because there's other players in this lobby. But, back to what I was saying. Toughen up, you little snowflakes that think you want to be little justice social warriors. The world's a fucked up place. I mean, you don't even know how fucked up it is. You think you know how fucked up it is? No, you don't even. You don't even. And just because you can, try to go ahead and, think, it's you can make it better. You think you can make it better? It's not going to get better. What the fuck is that dude doing? Hey, get out of here. Beach is closed. Beach is closed. Said beach is closed. Bitch, I did not say you could get back up. Said it's closed. You stay out of here. There you go. Now the beach is closed. But grow the fuck up, people. You little snowflakes. Grow up. The world's fucked up. I mean, if you really sat there and watched a lot of the more fucked up this shit the world does, I mean, really sit there and watch how fucked up the world is, like you think you know, you barely even scrape the surface of how fucked up the world is. I mean, imagine something. I'm gonna imagine something for you. If you're not that very imaginative, I'm gonna imagine something for you. Imagine, what's something cute and cuddly? Hmm. 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 A bunny. There's porn about bunnies. I know that for a fact because one of my friends actually likes watching porn about bunny rabbits fucking. And he also likes watching them being killed. And where the skin gets peeled off of them. Granted, he's fucked up and I don't want to talk to him. But yeah, that's his shtick. And also, there's stuff out there when girls, if you run into a guy that sits there and he's like, oh, I like My Little Ponies, run away from him. No guy likes My Little Ponies and sits there and openly admits and says, oh, I like My Little Ponies, and does that sit there and own like a little thing of the pony and jerks off to it. And there's a specific name for them. They're called cloppers. Yeah, being serious. There's people out there that jerk off to My Little Ponies. A kids show, a little kids show for little girls. And there's guys that are around my age, maybe even older, that watch this. I mean, that's, the world's disturbing, fucked up. I mean, the best way to describe the world is like looking at a, trying to think of a more appropriate way to say it. Guess there really is no appropriate way to say it. The world, viewing the world in the world would be like looking at a unburied corpse, a corpse that has been around, that's not in bloated stages, not in dry rot stages, or is it dry mort? Forgetting the decomposition stages. It would be in dry realm stages. In where the dry something. It's more or less. God damn! I really wish I had my phone because I actually have all the notes and stuff for tests and stuff on decomposition, what to do and what not to do, how to keep. It would be like looking at a coffin that's been buried for several, and it's kind of all mucusy, and the face is decomposed. It would look like something out of Resident Evil, where it's just all completely decomposed and rotted, and it's gone. It's just very gross to look at. It would look like that. That's like what the world is. That world, the world we live in, is that dead, rotting, gross, grotesque corpse that's sitting there, not out in plain sight, but in your living room, sitting there, on your table, in your living room, just sitting there. Hello, person that joined. That's what the world is like. It's just gross and grotesque and fucked up. The world itself is just a harsh place. And I mean, if you don't like it, then I'm sorry you don't like it, people. But there's nothing you're going to do about pretending to create a safe space or trying to sit there and say, no, that's not the way it is. No, that's the way it is. And saying that's not fair. Tough shit. The world isn't fair. Life isn't fair. Everything in general, in fact, that you know is not fair. If everything was fair, then, geez, I would have my own house right next door with my parents, and my brother would have a house right next door to me, And my other brother that's adopted would have a house right next door to me. Right next door to my other brother. I mean, we would all live with houses that could, like, connect to one another. I mean, that would be... And I would have my job in medicine. I would... Why can't I... Oh, here we go. And like I said, if life was there, I would be a doctor. Or I would have my job at the morgue. In college would be free. But that's going to be another subject about maybe college. College should definitely be free. College should definitely be free. But life itself is fucked up. It's unfair, it's fucked up, it's mean to you, it always kicks your shit in, it always beats you down. Life is just a never-ending shit fest of getting beaten up, knocked down, shit's being taken out of you, metaphorically. All this is metaphorical, by the way, if you don't understand that. And there's those small, brief moments, those small, little, brief moments of, oh my god, this is the best thing ever that's happened to me. And then it returns back to being a total shit fest. And granted, you can say, well, is that like that when you're married? No. There's times where you can absolutely hate your wife and you can be like, god damn it, I hate the shit you do. But you just have to grow used to them. My character is automatically looking at that. You know what? It's raining. Why are you wearing that? Wearing clothes that are not appropriate in this weather. Big puffin. But, yeah, the world's... Again, I'm not going to keep reverting back to the world is fucked up, and the world is this, and the world is that. Because I'm pretty sure I've made my point dead across that the world's fucked up and everything. But millennials, and generally for you, grow the fuck up. The world's not going to change just because you say it's going to change, and just because you want it to change. It's not the way how stuff works. Just gonna ride this while I do my lecture. Yeah, cool. Yeah, the world. God, I keep reverting back to the world. I'm stuck on the world. Wait, do I press something for this though? Is it broken? Oh well. Life is shit. Get over it. Build a bridge and get the fuck over it. And with all this gender bullshit, there's only 3 genders. There's only 3 sexual preferences. And I think I sidetracked from one of my other things. If a woman's bi, and like a good majority of women are bi, more or less, and this is just my opinion, what I think you're just being attention. I don't want to use the word attention whore, but you just want more attention. I mean, a good majority, if you go on a dating website, you see a woman that's sitting there, you see a woman that's bi, and you ask them, you know, which one do you prefer more, males or females? Well, obviously, a good majority of them are going to say, oh, males. But, you know, I could screw a female. Well, and they're going to say, well, I've never done or had sex with anything with a female. But, you know, I could date one. Well, I could say the same thing. Granted, guys, you cannot say that you can sit there and you can't look at another guy and go, well, he's kind of attractive. Like Hugh Jackman, the guy that plays Wolverine. Holy shit. wow, he is gorgeous. I love his body. I fucking love everything about him in his movies, from Wolverine, and from his movie from Les Mis. Les Mis, beautiful musical, beautiful, like heartbreaking movie musical. Not going to ruin the end of it for you. You could completely love Hugh Jackman, or you could love the guy who plays Deadpool. Can't remember his name. A lot of my guy friends are like, oh, I love him. I'm like, well, do you love him as acting, or would you actually, if you could have sex with him in a sexual relationship, would you? And a lot of my gay friends that are straight, I mean, we're talking about they're straight and they have a girlfriend and stuff, and even the guys that are straight that don't have a girlfriend even say, yeah, I would have sex with them, but that doesn't mean I'm gay. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean I'm bi. That means I like men, but no, sorry. They said that doesn't mean that they're bi. They like women, but they would go ahead and screw him just because he's so gorgeous. See, it's just saying that kind of makes you confused, right? Doesn't it? So, really, if you really, 13 minutes until the D kicks me. Really, if you think about it, I don't think there's either straight anymore. I think there would definitely be people that are like, yeah, they're bi. Because deep down inside, we all have that one celebrity, that one male or female celebrity that we would bang. And granted, or they would bang us. But granted, females just always saying that they're bi. No, that's not how it works. I mean, you can't just be bi just cause. I mean, really, if I could say that, I could say, yeah, I could right now, I could go ahead and go back on OkCupid and change my dating profile to bi. Now, granted, is a lot of guys going to fucking hit on me? Yeah. Am I going to turn every single one of them down? Yes. But how confusing would that be? And you can ask a woman, well, what do you do when a woman talks to you? Well, they lead them on. Hands down. Truly get to know a woman and talk to them enough, they'd be like, yeah, I don't politely tell them no. I kind of lead them on, and just eventually I tell them no. Or eventually they tire them out and they give up. And man, when women sit there and they don't want to tell you no, they're going to tire you out until you give up. And it's what they do. That's another shitty thing. They don't automatically just tell you no. They just tire you. They just wait until you give up. I mean, in general, I think my earlier video was a lot better because I kind of run out of steam at this point. I mean, I've got nothing to be angry about. I've got everything I wanted to be angry about out. But I mean, I'll probably think of more shit later on. Just that this really is just fucking terrible. I mean, if anyone has anything else that's, why the fuck is everything else fucked up? Comment, say something. If I offended you, get the fuck over it. This is the real world. People are going to say shit you don't like. I'll press this exit. I don't even know where my character is. But I don't want to get out. I want to stay in here. But, yeah. I mean, in general, it's late. It's going on 12 o'clock where I live, and, the world's fucked up. Society's fucked up. Society probably will never fix itself until society will die. Which, granted, society's gonna die soon. The death of society is, this is not like, oh, this guy's a fucking nutjob theorist. No. Yale, Harvard, and Princeton actually published 3 papers from their staff about genetics, genes, why more mentally challenged people are being born, why more birth defects are being born, the rare birth defects are being born more than regular, they're not becoming not so rare. Why is it being that? The gene pool itself, and you can look this, it's from the gene pool itself, our gene pool, is shortening. They granted 30, actually it wasn't 30, it was 40, 50 to 60 years. They gave it a 30-year time span between those 40 and 60 years from now that a good majority of the human race will be autistic, mentally challenged, Down syndrome, autistic, handicapped, anything like that. Now granted, really think about that. If you really add in more factors to that and think, what if a president is mentally challenged and he becomes, let's say someone's mentally challenged and they become a president and they have the nuclear launch codes and they can automatically declare war with a country that, you know, they really feel like they want to go to war with. They very well could so do that. Now let's take it a step further. Granted, I'm neutral about how our president is. Trump, our current president. I'm neutral about him. I didn't vote for him. I didn't do anything. I'm neutral about how everything is. Because I want to view a neutral perspective on this. Take this with a grain of salt. What if Trump, our president, is actually mentally challenged? Autistic. I mean, we're talking about a mentally challenged autistic person that has maybe ADHD, OCD. Hold on, I gotta join this thing real quickly. Yeah, just make some money on the side. Someone like that has the nuclear launch code, is making plans to do stuff. I mean, granted, we're people who already sat there and saying Trump is terrible. Well, why is he so terrible? Have you really ever think he's mentally challenged and the man simply doesn't know any better? That's just what he thinks? Now, take it a step further and look at a mentally challenged person that sits there and is acting really nice. A mentally challenged person that is acting really nice is on medication. There's medications to help them act very nice, to help them keep them stable, focus, and concentrate. That's what they do. Medicines do that. Now, imagine Trump. No medication. It's same old Trump. Blurting off the shit he does. Oh, shit, he wants me to join. I can't. Blurting off the shit he's blurting off. Trying to start a war with countries that, you know, shit, we don't want to go to war with. Trying to argue about a word like Kofifi. For those of you who sat there and were on Twitter the day Trump argued Kofifi was a word. Kofifi is not in the English dictionary. It is not a different language. It is not a word. And the man sat there for, I think it was an hour, several hours, and argued that Kofifi was a word. And did not even admit he was wrong. Now, granted, here comes the twist. I'm mentally challenged. I am autistic, but of the higher functioning, which means I can do anything you can do. I can do anything a normal person can do. I just can't read and write so very well. That's my only one downfall. But I can socially interact with just about anyone, just fine and dandy. But Trump, and you could probably sit there and go, oh, cool, I got paid for money. And I could probably sit there, and you could probably sit, you could probably sit there and say, Trump sat there and, he went to school, he did all the stuff, he graduated. Well, here's a bigger thing you're not seeing. It's a bigger picture you're not seeing. If you're rich, can you not buy these things? You'll probably say no. Well, granted, OJ trial was before I was born. Did OJ not get away with, air quote, murder? If you think Michael Jackson was a pedophile, was he not a pedophile and got away with sexually molesting those little children? Granted, I don't care about Michael Jackson. The man's dead. I never really cared for his music, and I never really cared for anything. My life and everything is I view everything from a neutral perspective. So that way I can study and observe how everyone interacts with one another, and to sit back and take notes and observe in general, just observe. So if you really think about it, money can get you, if you have enough money, you can get away with a lot of things. You can get away with practically murder, maybe rape, child molestation. You can get away with anything you want as long as you have enough money and a good lawyer. So, get down to it. Trump probably went ahead, either his dad or him, paid to go ahead to get him through all those schools and change his grades so he could pass. His dad helped him start up his own business. He went and nearly lost his businesses several times, but his dad's always built them out. I might be wrong about that. I might be completely wrong about that from what I read it from. But really, getting back to the point, our president might be mentally challenged. But imagine this, going back to the further statement I just made. If one president is going to be mentally challenged, imagine if the House, the Senate, the House and the Senate were run by mentally challenged people. What if the military could no longer get mentally challenged, couldn't do mentally challenged people, could not have mentally challenged people, because the military does that, take in mentally challenged people dealing with mental disorders of any kind, or people that are mentally challenged, or people with any birth defects. So really get into that. Think about that. Our military itself in the far future will cripple itself and grow weak.
Hey, gotta go.
The
They're gonna tell them you're on board.
These fucking people talking. I'm gonna jump off the railing. Boop. Peace and quiet with no NPCs talking. Alright, let's chill out in the water. So if you really think about it, the military itself will become weak. The House and the Senate will be run by mentally challenged people. A good majority, maybe. I mean, hypotheticals, who knows? But a president mentally challenged? More than likely. House and Senate mentally challenged? More than likely. A military that's slow and crippled and might have to change its rules so that way it can get mentally challenged people in? More than likely. That's unless we invent robots that can fight our wars for us. Then it leaves the whole human process out. And in that case, if you really think into it, if we could invent it, I mean, this can open up a whole gaping hole of what if. The big what if is facing one what if at a time. Everything was mentally challenged. Everything was just really fucked up, and a good majority of people were mentally challenged. There would be war constantly. People would be nuking each other. People would be killing each other. There would be fights for no reason. I mean, for those of you who have someone and know someone that is mentally challenged, you've seen their anger, where their anger goes from 0 to a fucking 1,000. And they're screaming at you, punching holes in walls, throwing tantrums over the smallest of things. Now imagine that. They just get an argument over a policy, a foreign policy, and they go to war with that country just because that country did not like them and called them a name. We're at war. Boom, just because they called them a name. Now, doesn't that sound like our current president? Call him a name. He wants war. But we're just going to roll on through this and keep going on. Alright, so we're thinking about that. Now let's think, we take the human process out, the human process of all this out, and leave it to machines. I mean, in general, there's ways to save the human race. But the ways to save the human race, in general, if you really want to think about this, and this is the big what if, is not good. It is going to be a tough, tough thing, which I'm not going to get into. I already got into it with several people, and I got called a cruel, sadistic, mean son of a bitch, and lost 2 good friends because of it. Because my thing on what we should do and what needs to be happen is basically probably more than likely going to be the truth of what's really going to happen. But if you can take the human process out, you can have machines running the president, becoming a president that makes all these decisions. Leave the whole human step out. House and Senate is run by machines. Leave the whole process out. The military is run by machines. Leaves the whole process out. I mean, the only thing that we would have to have left is to stay alive. Is to sit there and have machines do everything for us, like it already is advancing towards today. And everything will be pampered and taken care of us. And then, I mean, really getting into this, it boggles my mind. And it's a tough pill to swallow. Because the more you look into, the more, like, as I sat there and I started to research this, and granted, I started to research this close to a year and a half ago, maybe even more. And I sat there for months and put all the pieces of puzzle together. And sat there and realized, shit, this is not looking good for the way as everything's going to happen later on in the future. I mean, it's all theory. It's all based on what papers have been written from colleges and stuff and from universities. And plus my input and several other people's inputs. But in general, society eventually will die, crumble, and decay. Good 40 to 50, 60 years from now, society will be at its knees and it will die, and the human race will go extinct. Granted, this video turned into what's wrong with people and then took a dark, dark turn, but I feel like I would have never gotten around to that point of that chapter of this video. Don't think I would have ever gotten around to it, because I do not have the courage to sit there and tell someone, you know, granted, this might be how the world's going to happen. I know I don't want to face the fact that this might be how the world's going to happen. And granted, the only way I'm actually probably going to tell you that the way that you can only fix this, there's a TV show about it on Hulu. And it's, yeah, Hulu. It's on Hulu. It's about basically women being selective breeding like cattle for the rich, for the wealthy. I mean, that's not what I say that should happen. That's probably more than likely how the rich are going to take a turn out of it. The rich are going to take control and do stuff. But, But more than likely, I mean, the way how I would like it to go, if the world starts coming to an end, if it doesn't lead all out to nukes and stuff, which would be a nice thing, is, you know, just selective breeding. People with proper genetics that are properly applied, like people that are having sex now, unprotected sex, and getting girls pregnant, and your child comes out mentally challenged. Your child is mentally challenged for a reason. Your genes are not properly matched to her genes. If you can go to a geneticist, and this is the real thing, that you can go to a doctor and you can get it done, a geneticist will test your genes and see if your genes and her genes are properly good enough to create a child that will be born with no autism, no disabilities, and will be born a normal, healthy baby, a normal, healthy baby. I mean, a good majority of them are just giving birth right and left without getting their genes tested. So, I mean, you go see your geneticist, get your genes tested, and to keep downsizing the surplus of mentally challenged people, for people that do not, I mean, I don't got anything against mentally challenged people, considering I am mentally challenged, but eventually, this is looking back at the bigger picture. It will lead to war as a mentally challenged person is in a presidential office. To downsize those chances, mentally challenged people, when they get their genes tested, and their genes aren't so good, you are denied from having a baby permanently. I mean, granted, I sat there and I told several people that, and, you know, they did not like the option of that. But really, just stop and think about it. You're only seeing a small fraction of a tiny picture. You're not looking at the bigger picture of the catastrophic events of a series of mentally challenged people running around, practicing medicine, running the government, flying airplanes. Mother Nature, as everyone always says, will correct itself. Mother Nature is not going to correct itself for us, the human race. Even though we are part of Mother Nature, we've kind of destroyed Mother Nature to a certain extent. Kind of basically destroyed the Earth to a certain extent. And everything that we could do, pollutants, everything that poisons, radioactivity, radiation, everything like that. I mean, I could really, really get into this and really sit there for the next, I don't know, 4 to 5 hours and go off on all this about how fucked up the world's going to be. I don't have it exactly down to a theory, but I'm going to work my damn hardest to try to figure out, is there a way, can we reverse this? Especially while I'm going to go through college. I'm going to find a way to see if we can backtrack to where it went wrong and see if we can reverse this. Maybe try to find a link between autism and everything else. at what stage of the developmental process of it being, of the baby itself inside the womb, does it get autism? And is there a way we can pump a chemical inside that brain to maybe cancel out the forms of autism? There's got to be a way. I mean, I know for a fact I'm going to study it at least as hard as I can to see if there's a way that can we reverse this. There's got to be some way, or else the human race is doomed for extinction. That is the plain, eye-opening fact. Either mankind will die of extinction, or mankind will destroy itself to extinction. Well, with all that grim stuff being said, I'm probably actually going to get off this game and then get offline and stop this broadcast and go to sleep. It's about 1:11 where I am, and some nice, peaceful sleep sounds very, very well. Now, granted, I'm tired, and I'm saying all this. This is not some ramblings of a very, very tired man. This is a wide awake, alert man saying this and trying to get out that the fact that shit, the world's not doing so well. But I'm not going to keep going on and blundering on. Good night, people who are watching. If anyone is watching, you know, say what you got to say. If you don't like what I had to say, go on to Google and type in, go to Harvard, Princeton, or Yale, and look up their facts on shit, I forget what it was, on like is human like how the autism is more autistic people being born and stuff like that, and it will actually legitimately give you a fact from it being printed and published by them. But good night. I hope all of you have a good day in other side of the world, or a good night in my side of the world.